Welcome back, guys. Scott here, and this is yet another test coming to an end this month. This is the final update, number 20, or a year and a half, of our trim restorers and coatings longevity test. Stay tuned to the end to see what we do and see if we can hurt or destroy any of these coatings or restorers. Otherwise, we'll determine the top 3 to 5 products just after that. So as usual, we will foam these two panels down using Chemical Guy's Honeydew Snow Foam. Rinse them off, foam them again, wash it, and then dry it before we inspect everything. The last 30 days weather, as well as the lifetime weather that these panels have seen, is on your screen here. Tests like these aren't possible without viewers like you, so if you'd like to support the channel, ways to do so are on your screen here. And if that's not possible, all it takes is a quick thumbs up on this video and hit that subscribe button, as it really does help out the algorithm. If you are new to this channel, all of my tests sit exposed outside to the elements 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they're washed once a week for the first month and then monthly after that. So this panel has been washed a minimum of a dozen times, as you see it here. But wait, Scott, why don't you apply these to an actual car that gets driven outside in the real world? Because in those instances, each product does not get exposed to an identical environment. Something that's on the bedside gets exposed differently than something that is on the trim around your wheel well. In these types of tests, everything is exposed to the same environment. Will it last the same for you? Maybe, maybe not, but the point is we will have a pretty good idea of what will last the longest. So without further ado, let's do further and dive into the final update for these panels. And also remember to check the video description, as I do have a spreadsheet that shows the failure times of everything here. You can see that Armor All Outlast, it was one of the lower end products that held on a little bit longer, but on this gray panel here, you're seeing everything received 2 coats, and to me it looks like it made no difference. So 1 or 2 coats, you're more after the uniformity, if anything. You can see Malco Epic Revive starting to show those tiger stripes. And that black stuff, which is of course a dye, didn't fare as well, but probably one of the finalists on this one. And Cerakote looking kind of sad too. The clear winner on the gray panel is Rust-Oleum Wipe New, definitely. But if that's first, Cerakote's probably second, that black stuff and or Malco third or fourth. And so that's your finishers on the gray panel. Moving on over to the black panel, which has 1 of everything. India ink is in the upper left there. Not quite very uniform, but it did all right, as well as the heat gun and the torch method, although I don't recommend doing that because it does make the plastic brittle. Kiwi black shoe dye, $3. That's an old detailer's trick from the 70s and 80s. As it starts to fail, it gets very non-uniform. It does seem to hold up quite well though, as we did know that going into it. Armor All Outlast, it was one of the ones that kind of held on for a little bit longer, but it was hard to make that one uniform. Adam's New Black, it was one of the last to fail too. And Solution Finish, that is pretty good performer, but Malco Epic Revive, that is pretty good. And Shine Supply Trim Paint, that is a dye, but it did do quite well. If you're after the dye, then that black stuff and Shine Supply, that black stuff is matte and Shine Supply is glossy. Rust-Oleum Wipe New and Cerakote, those are the other 2 that are performing quite well. So I would call that a tie between the 2 of those products. They're very similar, but the clear winner on the black one would probably be Malco Epic Revive, followed by Wipe New, Cerakote, and then maybe that black stuff, Kiwi Shoe Dye, and Shine Supply Trim Paint. Those 3 probably a tie. So what do you think? I think it has definitely opened my eyes as far as products that we've used in our shop. We had previously been using Solution Finish, which again isn't a bad product. It's just you're going to have to apply it more often. So just a little bit of a durability test here. Gonna throw some gasoline. It's like $10 worth of gasoline I'm throwing on there. We're gonna let it dwell for a little bit and then we'll brush it in and see how things are looking. The other test, I tried to do some isopropyl alcohol, some adhesive remover, and some simple green. It made no difference, but the most aggressive and most realistic would probably be gasoline, which in reality, if you're filling your tank up and you spill a little on your trim or something, you'd wipe it off within 30 seconds or something like that. So that's reflective of what we're doing here. And I'll try to rinse it off as well. And how did everything hold up? Do we see any differences, any stains? Kiwi black shoe dye, it's still sort of that unevenness as it begins to fail. Wipe new. Looks pretty resilient. Cerakote as well. That black stuff, it looks like it took some of the matte finish off a little bit, so maybe not as resistant there. Shine Supply trim paint definitely looks like it fared a little bit better than that black stuff. And Malco Epic Revive, even Solution Finish, all of those look like they survived it. So there's your finalists, guys. So again, back to my spreadsheet. If you want to take a look at that in the Google Docs in the video description, you can see when things failed. And again, if it made it 6 months, you know, that's pretty decent, especially if the product is $12, $10, and it's a huge bottle, something like that. Where you have Cerakote and Wipe New, those are a little on the pricier side. Rust-Oleum Wipe New, you can buy that at Walmart. It's a readily available product that you can just run down to your store and go get, where some of these others you're going to have to order online, like Solution Finish or Malco Epic Revive, and so on. And lastly, we have a chart showing failure time in days. You can see the right side is the longer lasting. Not to say that any of the others aren't awful, but you can see something like, you know, middle of the road, Armor All Outlast, $12, a decent sized bottle, and it lasts around a year. Super easy to reapply. So, you know, that would be a decent option too. But Solution Finish, Kiwi Shoe Dye, Wipe New, Cerakote, that black stuff, Shine Supply, and Malco Epic Revive New, which is really intended more as a dealership product. That's the clear winner on the black panel. On the gray panel, similar, but not quite the same results. Malco, that black stuff, Cerakote, Wipe New, Armor All Outlast, Nano Cotex Regen, and the torch method, along with Solution Finish. Of course, I don't advise doing the torch method because it does make plastic brittle. It'll make it look nice for a while, but again, don't recommend it. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you thumbs up, like, and subscribe. See you soon.